we have some new updates for the Philadelphia Eagles, some roster updates, what's going on at wide receiver. We're going to be talking Nick Sirianni and what he said a couple days ago, and we're going to be talking about this defense, Jalen Carter, and how just how different it is that went into that third game, and what going forward is going to make them more elite than ever if they stick to what they're doing. Let's get into the video.
A killer buried, but not dead.
Darren, we better turn around. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. I hope everybody is enjoying themselves. There's a lot to discuss today regarding Nick Sirianni, the defense, wide receiver, going forward. And with one more game on the line right now before the Eagles have their bye week, it would really be nice if they can get just one more win, get that rest that they really need, and continue on, because I really think they need that bye week. But before we get into anything, this video is sponsored by BetUS, and this is a word from our sponsors at BetUS. If I'm the betting man, and I am, and you're rooting for the Philadelphia Eagles, this is the redemption year for Jalen Hurts. This is the year we get the bad taste out of our mouths from last season. If I'm going all in, ride or die with a Super Bowl and bringing that Lombardi trophy back to Philadelphia for a second time, you need to go to BetUS, and I'm not wasting any time with it. I'm putting $500 down as the risk and getting $7,000 back at the end of the year, because this offense is going to be explosive. This defense by Vic Fangio, it's going to be dynamic. A 150% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000 with code YouTube150. Click the link in the description below. Start betting and start winning. All right, so I think the first thing to really talk about, sorry for that, I think the first thing to talk about going into this video is obviously we're probably going to start with Nick Sirianni here, because he had some things to say. Look, we all know that what's holding this offense back is this head coach, and I think Nick is getting more pressure on him, and I don't think he's liking it. I mean, honestly, you get what you ask for, what you did in these last 2 games. They lose the Falcons game because of bad decision-making and a really bad defense that made no adjustments. And then you go into, obviously, the game against the Saints, where the defense was literally lights out. You're lucky, under Kellen Moore, Jalen Hurts will be very good. Under Nick Sirianni, I feel like just nothing, it goes nowhere, because the play calling is dry and nothing's going on. Felt like I was watching two different offenses. The first half was Nick Sirianni. The second half was more of Kellen Moore, and we need more of Kellen Moore. Even the other day, a couple days ago, where Nick had another press conference, he knows he's going to get flack this week, no doubt about it. But the egotistical type of person that he is, and just not keeping his hands off things, and even somebody asking him about does he take over more than, we're just talking more than the 4th down plays. Okay, common sense, or using analytics for common sense layup points, easy points to put up, where this team should be 3-0 right now, no doubt. But in these instances, the team learns, the coaches are going to learn the hard way by making these mistakes, and it's really up to Nick to say to himself, now the great thing is you have Kellen Moore, not like last year where Nick had nobody by his side to give the play calling towards somebody or whatever. But even the questions that were brought up, like, Nick Sirianni says that he will overtake play calling here and there, quote unquote. Now, it sounds like here and there is more than just 4th down plays. I'm sorry to say, but I'm seeing a lot more. I feel like there is a list of Sirianni type plays that they've kept in the playbook from this apparently collaborative effort, or collaborative of Nick Sirianni's scheme integrated with Kellen Moore's scheme. It just doesn't work. Okay, Nick Sirianni's offense is just Kellen Moore's pre-snap motion with Sirianni's plays. Pretty much that's about it. But I liked how Hurts was just more in the pocket, and there's some good positive things to take from it. So, and I'm not going to kill Hurts, even though he did make some mistakes in the game, some bad throws here and there, but I think under Kellen Moore, he just looks more sharper. I thought in the second half he did look a lot more sharper, more comfortable. The throws looked better, but under Nick, it's just Complete disaster. And Nick has the audacity to say, oh, I'm not going to answer any more questions about this. Oh, you keep doing this, we're going to be asking the questions. You keep doing this, the fans are going to be pissed off. The season ends is when Nick continues this nonstop. If Nick continues to do this every single game, you cannot do this in a playoff game. This has to be like fixed, okay? ASAP, okay? Because games are on the line every single week. Every early game that we lose could be we could be paying the price later on. Obviously, when the NFC and the number one seed and all of that stuff is going to come into fruition, because you have some teams that are not playing well right now. The Eagles are, I know the Eagles could be a powerhouse, a juggernaut offensively. This man is the one that either this is a successful season, defense or not. This is a successful season with Nick Sirianni. If he keeps doing what he's doing, it's going to really go down it's not going to go well for him, and it's going to be a wasted year for this team. And to say that Nick is more involved, if it's just fourth down plays, I can't believe it's just that. I feel like it is a lot more, and this guy needs to get his shit together as fast as possible. So I didn't really like how he's getting pissed off when he's getting attacked this much, where he really deserves it 2 games straight, doing what he's been doing. And, can't really blame the media and us fans for that going forward. Now, to get into the roster moves for the Philadelphia Eagles, okay? Now, it looks like now with Britton Covey going to IR now, out 6 weeks, okay? He'll be back. It's unfortunate. Now, so we're kind of looking for some different things here of what they're going to do for not only wide receiver, special teams. Obviously, Devonte Smith was out last week. Devonte Smith with the concussion. So it looks like as of right now, John Ross has been signed to the practice squad, which I said the other day. If they want to bring John Ross back, they had the guy to do that. So he might be our punt returner, most likely. We'll see what happens. Maybe he will get elevated, not really sure. I know, and Jack Stahl was elevated from practice squad to the active roster, so they have another tight end there, which is good. Now, the question is, is A.J. Brown coming back this week? Devonte Smith, I feel like I'm not really seeing the signs too much that he will be back. Most of these concussions come off of a NFL mandate of a 1-game miss after a concussion. But it seems like there is a spot that is open, unless they're keeping John Ross down on the practice squad, or they have someone else that's going to be on special teams that's already on the roster right now. Because it's still early in the week a little bit, so they still have time to make some things. They won't announce a receiver coming back until maybe Saturday, most likely, or later on. But Devonte Smith, A.J. Brown, I feel like one of them has to come back this week. Not saying that they can. I know we're all going to say that they won without both of them last game. But this is in game. This was adjustments in game. Okay, obviously the Saints prepared for what they had, and Devonte Smith was playing a good amount until that last quarter. But you can keep this a secret until the weekend, really, the last minute secret here. But if A.J. Brown is still not right, I just wouldn't play him. And it's hard because, if you're going to have more defenders in the box, you got a $12 million running back to get it done with Saquon Barkley. Double tight end sets. Dallas Goedert has become one of the biggest weapons in Philadelphia, and I strongly agree that they have to use him as much as possible. We know Dallas Goedert has had pretty much the potential, has the talent there. The problem with him is he misses too many games every single year, 4 to 6 games on these little injuries, even if they're not his fault. I know he had the broken forearm last year. He had the oblique injury, late in the offseason program. So he's already been hurt this year, but not a serious injury. I think Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert, double tight end sets, and Jalen Hurts doesn't have that number one guy. They got to start getting these running, these run fits. And Todd Bowles knows how to beat Jalen Hurts. I think this is more of a revenge game for the Philadelphia Eagles. They say that we're back and we're back on top because, we won against Tampa Bay earlier in the season. And then we lost in that playoff game horribly. We lost A.J. Brown for that game, and Devonte Smith was really our best weapon. We actually ran some slants in that play, and cover zero blitz was killing us. If you remember some of the video that was shown from the Tampa Bay Eagles playoff game, pretty much they know how to beat you. Jalen Hurts does nothing. A lot of the players were talking on the sideline saying, oh, like he doesn't do anything. They already knew what he was going to do. You put pressure on Jalen Hurts, he's pretty much done. He's a done deal. So, Todd Bowles is going to do a lot more in this game than we realize, since we know this team very, very well. So they know us well. We know them well. So A.J. Brown coming back would definitely help tremendously. But if he's still not even 90, 95%, I wouldn't even attempt to bring him back. It's really tough because I feel like you should at least have one of them back this week, but we'll see what happens. But the signs are showing. I think the signs are showing that A.J. Brown could be on his way back. Could be. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what to me is showing as of right now. We'll see what happens with all that going forward. And the roster moves, punt returner, we'll see what happens there if they elevate John Ross or whatever's going to go on there. We'll see. Now, I think the one thing to definitely talk about here is this defense and just how much they have changed. I'm saying, of course, from last year to this year, okay, the toughness, the grit, sense of urgency, like I say over and over a million times, okay? I think the secondary has been fantastic. The defensive line has really been where we've been. Not great. Vic Fangio discussed the other day even benching Bryce Huff. Well, didn't really say benching Bryce Huff. They're still going to mix match him in, but he missed a lot of snaps. Only played 16, 17 snaps in the game and didn't do anything, not an assisted tackle, not nothing. So a lot of 4-5-man fronts where they actually moved Milton Williams and Bryce Huff's spot on the outside, and they seem to be generating more pressure. Fangio did say the other day on the press conference of the fundamentals were a lot better. The technique was a lot better. And I think that's partly true because I looked at this defensive line. As much as we could think it's lackluster, you have to make adjustments, okay? You have to do more with less, okay? I'm not saying less talent, but you have to move some players around, make some adjustments, and look what you did last week. And they're playing angry, and they feel like Jalen Carter, the way he acted at the end of the game, trolling the Saints and how dirty that team was and all these horrible holding calls that were not called in this game. If Jalen Carter, if that's how he acts and that's where he's locked in, and I think Chris Long said this on his Green Light podcast the other day, I mean, don't try to stop him from being who he is. Like, Nick has the balls to go up to Jalen Carter, stop how he's acting, where Nick has been flaunting on the sideline and what he did in the tunnel at KC last year, talking to the KC fans, yelling at them. I mean, come on now. Like, Nick can't talk about Nick can't tell a player not to be himself. And Jalen Carter's been doing this since he's been in college. Jalen Carter has been that way. When he was like that in Georgia. I've seen videos of it. I know he's been doing that. You know what I mean? So let these players be the way they are. You know what I mean? And let them do their thing. But I sense like this is a defense pretty much saying you're not going to fuck with us. And Chauncey being back is huge. Jalen Carter's energy, Brandon Graham. I mean, and it just... Zach Bond playing a big game. And I think part of that was he was playing against his old team as well. So I think he had a little bit of extra juice in the tank because when you face your former team, you kind of want to show them, why, maybe you doubted me or shouldn't have gave up on me after a few years. But I think this defense is playing with authority and they're just trying to take and it's the attitudes of the players, and it's very intoxicating. It's just such a different from last year where the 49ers come into Lincoln Financial Field wearing black suits, black clothing for our funeral. And James Bradbury's in pre-warm-ups. And they walk into our pre-warm. You know what I mean? And no one did anything. It took Big Dom to have a fight with a player, one of the 49ers players, after trying to break it up, to kind of get some juice with this defense. But this was a constant. The energy was constant throughout the game against the Saints, and what a turnaround. If they could keep that energy and keep that play going, I mean, you have Cooper DeJean that's not even playing fully 100% right now. Cooper DeJean's not even in this defense yet. Sidney Brown's not even playing in this defense yet. I mean, really, I think the secondary is just, and this is way crazy because we never talked about our secondary being that good in previous years. Our secondary looks great. You know, I think Quinyon Mitchell is going to have interceptions are so close with him. I feel like he's going to jump in front of one week. He's going to get that pick six he deserves. He should have had a couple of them already. But I like the adjustments, especially Vic Fangio, man. Like, he's on his blitzing and moving guys around in 5-man fronts, 4-man fronts. I mean, because you're not getting much out of your your line, the previous 2 games, that's what happens. So I think this defense is fantastic. The attitudes, let these guys be themselves, let their personalities just flow. That's all you need to do here. And Vic is doing a great job, and I hope it really does continue this week going forward. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about the roster moves. Do you think A.J. Brown, Devonte Smith play this week? One of them comes back. You let me know in the comment section below. What do you think about Nick's press conference in general the other day, a couple days ago? And does this alarm you of the here and there of overtaking the play calling? Do you think it's a lot more than the 4th down calls is really what I'm saying going forward? Because I think he is the difference maker, that this season is going to be a success or it's going to be a huge failure. And I don't want to see more of those plays, those bad decision calls that he's got to lay off, man, because he's already in my eyes on the verge of being fired. He's already on that road. He could switch off that road pretty easily. If and I get it. I know he's a fired up coach and he wants to be put, you want to put your guys in good positions to win football games. I completely get it. And you want to convert on 4th down because your defense is playing good. But at the same time, like, yeah, your defense is playing good, but take the points, dude. There's nothing wrong with that. You're being overly aggressive. You're going to lose easy games like this. You should be 3-0 right now. And that's where we're at. So hopefully everything stays afloat and we'll see what happens. You guys let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel if you guys have it, because it does help out channel tremendously and all that great stuff. This video is sponsored by BetUS. I want to thank BetUS for sponsoring this video so much. Make sure you bet on the Eagles this year. You'll make some money, no doubt, and you'll make more money later on during the year because this team is going to be going to hopefully an NFC Championship game, and hopefully we're going to get into the Super Bowl this year. Hopefully, very early to say. And with BetUS, you get your 150% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000 with promotion code YouTube150. And appreciate everybody, guys. You guys have a fantastic day. I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes, what up? Follow Sly. Peace out, guys. Peace.